Now I call upon Rowan Anish Abraham for prayer.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful evening. We thank you for giving us this opportunity to attend these wonderful classes. We pray for all the authorities who took the initiative to conduct these classes. We especially pray for the SYNOD's Ecology Department and for the Honorable Director of the department, Dr. Matthew Kushi. We also pray for all the teacher coordinators and students who are present here. Please bless today's resource person, Dr. Sultan Ahmad Ismail, to effectively convey his knowledge to us. Help us to properly understand what all that will be taught today and help us implement that in our daily lives. Once again, we pray for your blessings in today's class. In our Lord Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Praise the Lord and good evening to one and all. I'm Agnes Felicia from CSI St. Mary's Church, Ranipet, Velu Diocese. A very warm welcome to all of you, the blessed people present here. With God's abundant grace, we were able to organize this program. I thank God for Dr. Matthew Kushi, sir, Director of CSI SYNOD, Ecological Department. I extend a warm welcome to you, dear sir. It's a very great pleasure to welcome Dr. Sultan Ahmad Ismail. Welcome, sir. Dr. Sultan Ahmad Ismail is a member, State Planning Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu. He is also the Task Force member, State Planning Commission, Chhattisgarh Government, and Chairman for the reconstituted High-Level Expert Technical Committee, Hydrocarbon Project, Tamil Nadu Government, and former Director of the Ecoscience Research Foundation, Chennai. Teaching from 25th November 1974, he was the head of the Department of Zoology and later the Department of Biotechnology, the New College, Chennai. On behalf of CSI SYNOD, once again, welcome you, sir. I hope that today inspires ideas and discussion around the ways that we can make our city a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes. And over to Dr. Sultan Ahmad Ismail for the class.
Good evening, children, and good evening, Professor Kushi. Happy to see you again. And all the teachers who are seated over there, and dear students. Children, I'm just going to take you through a journey. I think I have been now doing this as the third or the fourth program with Professor Kushi. Thanks for the opportunity, Professor, and good luck to all of us for making this a better environment. Children, just feel relaxed. I always like to take you through a story, right? So, what's happening around us? And incidentally, tomorrow is Ozone Day. I hope you remember that. Tomorrow is Ozone Day. You can also have some sort of an exercise tomorrow to find out what is ozone and how ozone is very important. I'm not going to teach anything new to you, children. Just going to learn and share in the process. One very important thing I would like to share with you. And that is what today, everybody prepares a PowerPoint. And even you will be asked by your teachers to prepare PowerPoints. PowerPoint is only a presentation. PowerPoint is a software. I don't use PowerPoint software. I use another software called as Keynote because I use a Mac computer. So you can use any software, but finally it has become popular to be called as PowerPoint. But these presentations should be something different from what people normally put sentence after sentence. And you get bored out of it. Now, and that is called as death by PowerPoint. That is, preparing a presentation which is just lousy and boring is called as death by PowerPoint. So I hope you children will learn also in the process how to prepare a presentation. Okay, good children. Children, all these things you would have read about in the newspapers or in your class, your teacher would have told online. World Environment Day 2020, they said celebrate biodiversity. Tamil la vandu enna solvanga palluir kondaduvom, right? And then World Earth Day 2021, they said restore our earth. And then 22nd May, International Day for Biodiversity, they said we are part of the solution. Tell me honestly, are we part of the solution or are we part of the problem, right? And 5th June, World Environment Day 2021, they said ecosystem restoration. In the restoration, I get allergic to it. Because, we human beings cannot restore nature. If you want to understand the concept, children, please follow this very carefully. Okay? Supposing this human being is going on a two-wheeler, meets with an accident, and his leg is amputated. If we can give back his original leg, that is a restoration. Will we be able to give? No, we can't give. So what do we give? We give a wooden leg, and that is rehabilitation. So children, please be very clear. Restoration when it comes to original status. Rehabilitation is just mitigating something. So what we are trying to do to nature is only rehabilitation, because human beings cannot restore nature. Nature alone can restore nature, or God alone can restore nature. Is that clear to you all, children? Right? And this you can do by two ways. One way is called as mitigation. That is why you're all sitting over here today. Professor Koshi has arranged this meeting, this discussion. That is called as mitigation, mattupadtal. Right? The other thing is adaptation. Adaptation, so that is adaptation. We don't care about what is happening around us. But we are all here for mitigation. What is main thing which is happening today to our environment? One, solid waste is being dumped everywhere. Yes or no? Yes, effluents. You all know that factories are there, because Felicia is from Ranipet. She would have seen so many factories throwing away effluents. And then you have encroachment. Rich people go and occupy ecological spaces. Influential people go and set up factories on wetlands. And then you have soil use pattern, how we use our soil. Then we have hazardous chemicals being thrown out. And finally, water use pattern. Can we talk something about all this? Quick update. Okay? Maybe our mismanagement is also responsible for causing corona. Okay? We will think different. Most of you children are from school. I have to use English because I saw some people from Andhra and other places are there, Kerala and other places. So I can't talk fully in Tamil. So let me try to use it bilingual. Even in a classroom, your teachers come and tell you definitely what is the difference between living and non-living. They'll be teaching you. And they will tell you air. Air is non-living. And what are we? We are living. Yes, correct. But they will never tell you that if we remove the non-living air from my body, I also become non-living. Water is non-living. We are living. But remove the non-living water from my body, I also become non-living. That these two living and non-living components are inseparably interrelated. Very important, children. Please understand. And teachers, if you are attending this, please, whenever you teach children, try to tell them that living and non-living are inseparably interrelated and interact upon each other. This is the most important definition for living and non-living. Is that clear? Along with this, we include the fire and the ether. And this is called as the concept of Panjabhutas in India. We have a variety. This is what is our ecosystem. We have beautiful birds, butterflies, human beings, plants, all sorts of things, Tavarangal, Vilangagal, all joined together. And there are two most important components happening in ecology. Nalla purijikanama. One, aatral, energy. It flows. Teachers will sun energy comes and then flows. Nutrient cycle up. You must all understand. What is the concept? For example, if I ask normally to children, who will eat more? An elephant will eat more or a dog will eat more? We immediately will think that the elephant is so big, elephant eats more. Here you must understand science. Elephant, if I take, the weight of the elephant is 5 tons, 5,000 kilos, whereas weight of the dog is 20 kilo. Elephant, if I'm going to give grass to eat, per day you may give 50 kgs. Dog, you're going to give meat, maximum you can give is 1 kg. Food or medicine is calculated with reference to body weight. So 5,000 kg elephant eats 50 kg na, 1 kg body weight of elephant eats how much? கணக்கு போடுங்க. Very simple mathematics. 10 grams. புரியுதா? How much does a dog eat? 50 grams. So who eats more? Dog eats more than the elephant. புரியுதா ராஜா? Dog eats more than the elephant. Why should dog eat more than an elephant? That is science. That is science. Why should dog eat more than an elephant? Because elephant is in this trophic level. It eats the grass which fixes the energy, whereas dog eats the meat of an animal which eats the grass which fixes the energy. So higher trophic level poga poga, they will eat more. Adanalatha India we are vegetarians. Enna vegetarian namalam illaya, predominantly vegetarian. You go to a hotel ku poite non-vegetarian hotel anda celebration. Professor Koshi in all the program முடிஞ்ச பிறகு he is going to give you all a big treat in a hotel. I hope so. Okay. So he takes you to the hotel and says, all of you will have a non-vegetarian meal. Yes, non-vegetarian meal. But what will you get in the plate? Rice. Rice is vegetarian. You'll get chapati or puri or paratha, vegetarian. Sambar, vegetarian. Rasam, vegetarian. Tair, vegetarian. Kootu, vegetarian. Kai, vegetarian. Salad, vegetarian. Sweet, vegetarian. Curd, vegetarian. Payasam, vegetarian. Only in a small bowl, they will keep 2 pieces of chicken or 2 pieces of fish. Purida Raja. So in Asian countries, the predominant food which carries the energy is the vegetarian food. That is why we grow a lot of rice, whether it's Kerala or Andhra or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu. Okay. This word, ninga school la nalla padichirpinga, eco. The meaning of this word eco, artha enna appdinu pathina home, home, veedu, home, illam. In the concept la home is the entire planet, the earth. And the home பத்தி நீங்க படிச்சீங்கன்னா, if you study about the home, it is ecology. Ecology means study. And the home, காசு பணம், how much cost அப்படின்னு போட்டீங்கன்னா, that is economy. Now what happens is the fight between these two. Ecology, economy, dishum fighting. Who wins? Economy wins, because people are not interested in ecology. You children should try to work for ecology. Idan biodiversity. Bio means life, diversity means variety. Very simple one. Very, very simple. Right? We, India, we are very rich in biodiversity. India has very rich in biodiversity. பாருங்க எவ்வளோ காய்கறி இருக்கு நம்மகிட்ட. இருக்குல்ல, மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு போனா இருக்குல்ல, so many varieties. Right? Take one kaikari, you take lady's finger, so many varieties in India. You take tomato, so many varieties of tomatoes in India. Right? We have beautiful flowers. We have lovely birds. We have magnificent animals. All these belong to our country. Ninga padichikalam. You can read it yourself. All these belong to our country, India. We have a very rich biodiversity. Okay. So many varieties of cattle, sheep, goats, camels, horses, poultry. Poultry is chicken. Okay. Pala vagaigal irukku. That is where you must understand this concept, children. You should not forget this. Bos indicus is Indian cattle. Bos taurus is Western cattle. Nama India maatukku, you can find this hump. Are you able to see the hump? This is for Indian cattle. Western cattle will not have hump. Indian cattle will have a loose chin. This will not have a loose chin. அப்படி பார்க்க போனீங்கன்னா என்ன வரும்? இது தேசி மாடு, இது தேசி மாடு, இது தேசி மாடுனா இது பரதேசி மாடு. புரியுதா? This is the difference. இப்போ what you must understand in science, Raja, ரொம்ப important. A new technology is being introduced. What is the technology? We don't want bulls. We want only cows. We don't want bulls. Bulls are a nuisance. We don't want bulls. We want only cows. So in new technology, what they do is, children, you are all from higher classes, from 11, 12 standard. You know that the male sperm will have a X chromosome or a Y chromosome, whereas a female ovum will have only X. So they will take the sperms, they will segregate and see to it that only male is destroyed and only female cows are born. Now this technology has been introduced in India. It is against the law of nature. Nalla purijikinga, against the law of nature. Sari, அப்புறம் கோழி பார்ப்போம். என்ன பிடிக்கும்ல உங்களுக்கு எல்லாம், லாலிபாப் எல்லாம், ரைட்? ட்ரம்ஸ்டிக். இது நாட்டுக்கோழி அப்படிங்கிறோம். Our own chicken variety, we call it as நாட்டுக்கோழி, country chicken. And we believe that this is the original chicken. This chicken, when I was young, was in 70 days will stand like this. The chicken which you are eating, children, in 48-50 days spreads its legs, unable to bear its own weight. Adude weight taaga mudila. Why? Because of what? Injecting hormones, injecting antibodies. இந்த ஒவ்வொரு கோழிக்கும் என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு பாருங்க கொஞ்சம். Are you able to see it? Now, these chicken come to the market. அப்போ மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு போகும்போது some chicken may have eggs in them. முட்டை எடுறதுக்கு முந்தைய கோழி பிடிச்சிருவாங்க. அந்த முட்டை வேஸ்டா அனுப்பலாமா? அனுப்பக்கூடாது. We must not send. We must steal the egg also. So what we do? Before we go to the market, the chicken are suspended and they remove the egg from it. Are you able to understand, Raja? Fine. அதே மாதிரி ஃபிஷ் எடுத்துப்போம். ஃபிஷ் வந்து சொல்லும்போது இது வந்து நம்மளுடைய ஃப்ரெஷ் வாட்டர் ஃபிஷ். யூ ஹாவ் த கட்லா, த ரோஹு, த மிர்கல். These are all fresh water fishes. These are marine fishes, கடல் மீன். Very beautiful, pomfret, ailai, matti, எல்லாமே இருக்கு. But what most of us eat today in the hotels is this fish, which is imported from Thailand and Indonesia. The skin is removed, the bone is removed, and then chemically treated to make it white. And it comes to India in the form of an ice cube. ஆனா நீங்க ஹோட்டலுக்கு போனீங்கன்னா அழகா அப்படியே ரொட்டி துண்டெல்லாம் போட்டு அழகா ஃப்ரை பண்ணி they will serve you like this. Is that clear, Kanna? Take fish. Next time when you go to the hotel, Raja, நீங்க என்ன கேட்கணும்? You must ask for a full fish or a slice of fish which has the bone in it. முள் இருக்கணும். அந்த மாதிரி மீன் வாங்கி சாப்பிடுங்க ஹோட்டலுக்கு போனீங்கன்னா. ஃபேமிலியோட போவீங்க இல்லையா, if you have the function. So see to it that you order for such fish. Okay? இதே மாதிரி தான் நான் வந்து கிளாஷ் வர ஆரம்பிக்கும். There's a fight between animals and human beings அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. இப்போ ஒரு சின்ன தம்பி, இவர் நிறைய கலாட்டா பண்ணாரு கோயம்புத்தூர்ல எல்லாம். This elephant, the problem is every single elephant requires almost 1 square kilometer area per day. அவர் அப்படியே வாக்கிங் போயிட்டு eat grass, drink water, come back. But elephants don't go alone, Raja. Elephants is a big group. என்ன மாதிரி குரூப்? இந்த பாருங்க போறாங்க பாருங்க, ஜாலியா போறாங்க பாருங்க. அவர் பாருங்க திரும்பி பார்த்த, டேய் சீக்கிரம் வா அப்படிங்கிறாரு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். பாருங்க இன்னொரு குரூப் வருது பாருங்க பின்னால். So all these animals, when they join together and when they walk, that complete route is called as the elephant corridor. புரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டீங்களா? அப்ப என்ன பண்ணுது? அங்க போய் நம்ம human beings, when they construct walls, they will break the walls. When human beings are there, they will cross the road because it is their place, but we mistake things. And then they cross. This particular spelling you must remember, Raja. All those children who are studying for competitive examinations, zoonosis. Zoonosis is the disease which comes from animals to human beings. The diseases which come from animals to human beings is called as zoonosis. Corona or COVID-19 is also a zoonotic disease. But now things are changing. Chennaiயில் இருக்கிற ஜூல வந்து lions got infected with COVID-19. So now new term has come up. Please remember these terms for your future. It's called as anthroponosis. Anthroponosis. Anthro means human beings. Anthropo is anthropology, study of human beings. So if a disease comes from animals to human beings, it is called as zoonosis. If the disease goes from human beings to animals, it is called as, very good, anthroponosis. ஞாபகம் வச்சுங்க. இவர்தான் cattle, மாடு. மாடு in our system, they used to use it for ploughing, and then they used to make this variety, dry cow dung cake. Then they used to make compost, manure, and then biogas plant came, and then this fellow came in. The moment he came in, we said we don't want animals and we removed the animals. Yes, we can remove the animals, but the tractor cannot give us dung, right? Animals will give us dung. That's very important for the soil. At the same time, when people use the cattle and when they plowed the soil, what happened? Nalla gavanikano. What happened? The soil came up. Aeration took place. When a heavy tractor goes on the road, it compacts the soil. And the wheel, peri wheel, it gets compacted. And when that gets compacted, what will happen? The air inside the soil will escape. When air escapes, the soil organisms will die. Purida Raja? Okay. This is a tree. Tree gives us all this. You can read it yourself. But please remember, children, that you and I, every day, we inhale 550 liters of oxygen. How much? 550 liters of oxygen. Today, oxygen is very expensive. So at today's cost, we inhale 13 lakh rupees worth of oxygen per day. ஒரு நாளைக்கு 13 லட்சம் ரூபாய் மதிப்புள்ள ஆக்சிஜன் சுவாசிக்கிறோம். புரியுதா கண்ணா? One tree, remember these things, one tree in 1 year gives us 24 crore rupees worth of oxygen. Is that clear? Okay. அந்த மரத்தை, how we look at it, வெட்டன்னா எவ்வளவு, how much will earn by cutting the tree. Now when I cut the tree, the soil becomes barren. And when rain comes, when rain falls, the soil splashes and all the soil. This is called as erosion. Erosion. 1 inch soil develop ஆறதுக்கு, it takes almost how much? 250 to 400 years. Nature takes 250 to 400 years to develop 1 inch of soil. And we are sending the soil to the sea. Right? Who produces most oxygen? School teacher. The tree produces maximum oxygen. Children, you must learn today. It is not the tree which produces maximum oxygen. It is the sea which produces maximum oxygen. Now we have started polluting the sea also. Understand the concepts properly. Angada soil can be saved. Soil is saved because soil is also non-living according to science in Cholumbode. When I did my research, I said, no, soil is living organism. So people said living organism means soil must have a digestive system. Irka soil ke. Start thinking, children. Supposing an animal is found dead on the road. Some animal. Example, a dog is found dead on the road. You are going that way to school daily, going and coming. It starts smelling. Correct? But if you make a pit, kuli vetti, put the dog inside and close it. Do we get the smell? No, we don't get the smell. Why don't we get the smell? Because it's getting acted upon by microorganisms, and microorganisms will completely break it down and incorporate it into the soil. Who lives in our intestine? Microorganisms. So if we have microorganisms and digest, we call it as digestive system. Logically, we can say that soil also has a digestive system. Then they asked me, soil is a digestive system, okay. Soil, does it have a respiratory system? Just like you and I take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. In the same way, soil also takes in oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. So soil has logically a respiratory system. Then they ask me, soil, does it have a circulatory system? You see, if I get hurt in my hand, when I'm working, adichitam. Now, doctor gives me a tablet, painkiller. Do I go and feed to my hand or put it in my mouth? I put it in my mouth. How does the medicine go to my hand? The blood circulatory system takes it to the hand. You have plants at home, do you pull it every day and feed the roots? I put it on the top of the soil. So how does the water and the nutrients go to the roots? through the circulatory system created by the soil organisms. So logically speaking, soil has a circulatory system. Then they asked me, soil excretory system irukanu ketanga. Just like we go to the toilet and throw away urine, because urea is a salt. Urea is very harmful for the body. So we go and urinate. And the urea is thrown out. The same way, saline soils, that is soils which have a lot of salt in them, they bring the salt on the top and throw it out. They don't take it inside. So soils logically have an excretory system. Then they asked me, the soil have a reproductive system. Nalla kelvi. Neenga ella 12th standard book la padipinga. Tamil Nadu kulandinga kandipa padipinga. About reproductive system, you have studied about this in vitro fertilization, test tube baby. Even the test tube baby has to be planted where? Thayin karuppayil dhan. That is, in the womb of the mother alone, the baby will grow. In the same way, tissue culture plant has to be planted in the soil, only then it can grow. So soil also has a reproductive system. Does soil have a brain? Good question, right? And my research told me that soil has a brain. How you want to know? Dig a pit. Put any leaf, cow dung, anything, it will decompose. But you put a seed in it, it will grow. Soil knows to distinguish what it has to decompose and what it has to grow. So such a beautiful soil, this beautiful soil should have organic matter in it. Soil should have a lot of organic matter. In the national average 0.5%. Tamil Nadu, recently there was a meeting in which they declared that it is 0.68. But it is 0.45 in Madurai and other places. 0.68%. Whereas it should be 2% to 5%. Enna pannalam? Soil fertility in pesa arambichanga. We said soil fertility, wrong word. Because fertility is related with fertilizers. So we talk about soil health. Not man valam, but man nalam. That's very important for us. In the man nalamarika, how can I tell? I am a school-going child, but my father is having a farm, my uncle is having a farm. Just go walking in their farm. If there is cow dung there, sani kadakudana, start looking at the cow dung. If the cow dung becomes dry like this, that means the soil has no moisture. The soil has no microorganisms. Whereas if the cow dung breaks down into small crucibles, then it means there is moisture and there are soil organisms. Very simple method, Kanna. This is very important for you, Raja. And more people about this and takes it further. Today, soil is devoid of nutrients. Mannala sattilla. So the plants which may grow there, the fruits, the vegetables, the grains don't have a required amount of nutrients. Instead of improving the soil, the government says that they want to produce fortified food. Children, note down this spelling. Fortified food. Edhi vechika Raja? Edhi vechika kanna fortified food? Fortified food inna enna? Inniki rational vikranga paranga arsi, adala half rice is normal, half rice they have added iron to it. So fortified food cannot provide required nutrients. You children are going to eat this in future. So please be very careful, understand it. Food security, you are the future generation. Wrong concepts of food security. Food production and consumption. Food security, children, understand that is not just availability, it is access and utilization. Children, you must understand. Teachers, please tell these things to your students in your classrooms and make them understand. And we in India, we use so much of chemical fertilizers and pesticides every year. Our government says that our production is going to increase. Production will increase, but actually production is actually decreasing. Production is actually decreasing day by day. That is, from 2000, production has started decreasing. This is how my farmer takes up the pesticide. Simple mechanism. And then dissolves it. After dissolving, what does he do? He goes and sprays it. While spraying, he doesn't take any precaution. Kanna. இதுக்கெல்லாம் நீங்க நிறைய ஒர்க் பண்ண வேண்டியிருக்க ராஜா. பாருங்க, ஒரு பாதுகாப்பு கிடையாது கண்ணா. The company fellow says, put this suit. ஒன்னல இந்த கோவிடுக்கு இந்த மாஸ்க் போட சொன்னா எங்களால போட முடியல. இந்த மாஸ்க் we are not able to wear, but we expect the farmer to wear all this coat, to suit, to boot, and go in the farm. Will he be able to do it? He won't be able to do it. Okay. Please understand this. One simple experiment. Maybe you must try this experiment, Kanna. You must try this experiment someday. Take a plant. For example, it is 100 grams. Now dry this plant in the hot sun. Nalla kaya veinga. Sun la vechi kaya veinga. What happens? It becomes 30 grams. What happened to 70 grams? Water was evaporated. Fair enough. This 30 grams dry plant, you burn it. It becomes ash. If the ash is 300 milligrams, 0.3 grams, what happened to 29.7 grams? It went into the air. Please understand, children, what a plant takes as water gives back as water. What a plant takes from the air gives it back to the air. And what it takes from the soil is only 300 milligrams. And we are dumping a lot of chemicals into it. What happens to these chemicals? They go into the soil and contaminate our drinking water. இதெல்லாம் நிறைய experiment நீங்க பண்ணணும். Pandemic அப்புறம் you children should take up this sort of experiments and try to do it. Okay. So what has happened in the course of time? Our agriculture, because of adding so much of chemicals, got converted into ugly culture. For example, here's a farmer at Madanapalli. I went to this farm, lovely farm. He has tomato farm. He has his beautiful flowers, which are pest control flowers, but he doesn't know its use. But he is spraying this nasty chemical over there. Children, note down the name of the chemical, endosulfan. Very, very nasty chemical. Recently banned in India, but still not fully banned. இது எந்த அளவுக்கு மட்டமான ஒரு ரசாயனம்னா, what happens to the farmer's hand? It becomes like this. It becomes like this. Look at the farmer's hands. The same thing when we eat, our stomach becomes like this. Look at the farmer's hands. Look at the feet of the farmers. Look at the feet of the poor women who work in the fields. நீங்க எல்லாம் படிச்சு நல்லா பண்ணணும், உதவி செய்யணும்ல உங்களுக்கெல்லாம். எவ்வளோ இருக்கு கண்ணா, நீங்க எல்லாம் நிறைய படிக்கணும், நல்லா படிக்கணும், புரியுதா? And then what we do, farmல fieldsல போயிட்டு கொளுத்தி விட்டுறோம் எல்லாத்தையும். This is our habit, that we will burn any trash, thinking that it will be organic matter. But what is being burnt? நல்லா கவனிச்சு பாருங்க, என்ன கொளுத்துறாங்க? எல்லாத்தையும் போட்டு கொளுத்துறாங்க. So when rubber and plastic burns, dioxin will be produced. Note பண்ணி வச்சுக்க ராஜா, dioxin, 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 மோசமான chemical. It can cause cancer. So all this goes into the soil and into the water. Okay va? இது ஒரு ட்ரெயின் கண்ணா, டெய்லி போகுது இந்த ட்ரெயின், every day carrying farmers with cancer between Punjab and Rajasthan. இந்த ட்ரெயினுக்கு பேரே கேன்சர் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ். பேசி முடிச்ச பிறகு கூகுள்ல போட்டு பாருங்க, கேன்சர் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ், you will get all the information. அப்ப நான் சாப்பிட்ற தட்டுல என்ன சாப்பிட்றேன்? விஷத்தை சாப்பிட்றேன். I'm taking poison in my plate. Many children are suffering with these problems, various diseases. சரி, ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் சாப்பிடலாம் அப்படின்னா, children நல்லா கவனிக்கணும் ராஜா, நல்லா கவனிக்கணும். Ethylene, calcium carbide, இது ரெண்டு போட்டு பழக்க வைக்கணும். It is these chemicals that are being used. These chemicals which are used to ripen the fruits. Be careful as to what you eat. How do I know, sir, which chemical is used? You see, look at this banana. Look at this banana. Banana ripens from stage 1 and அப்படியே போயிட்டு ஜாலியா ripen ஆகுது. If you find that the color of the banana is stage 3 or 4, but it has black dots like in 11 and 12, that means they have used the chemical. Avoid. அதே மாதிரி yellow banana, if you take, the yellow banana ripens from one end to another end. If you find the banana dark green on both the ends and yellow in the middle, that means they have used chemicals. Avoid it. Because we all studied simple English, no? A for apple, B for biscuit. In the course of time, what children will study? A for anemia, B for bronchitis, C for cancer, D for diabetics. So we have to be very careful as to what is happening, Raja. So what this child is eating and drinking is not safe. எதுமே சரியில்லை. ஓகேவா? இன்னொரு பக்கம் other side we have this waste management. Other resource management மாத்தணும். We have to convert. That is where we bring in vermi-tech. This vermi-tech, vermi means earthworms, tech, technology. So using earthworms, composting is called as vermi-tech. இதுதான் நம்ம நாட்டு புழு, our earthworms, local earthworms from our own country. But ஒரு புழு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, you can see now children, you are studying science, you will know that the earthworm, it has a clitellum and the body. There are 3 types of earthworms. நல்லா கவனிச்சிங்க குழந்தைங்க, நல்லா கவனிச்சிங்க. 3 types of 3 varieties. Species கிடையாது. Species we have 3,500 species. Varieties, one which is on the surface of the soil, மேல்மட்ட புழு. Second, anasics, subsurface. Third, which live inside the soil, மேல்மட்ட புழு, நடுமட்ட புழு, அடிமட்ட புழு. புரியுதுங்களா? This is our own local worms. Surface worm, subsurface worm, bottom worm. But most of us, we use this earthworm for composting purpose. இப்போ நல்லா கவனிங்க. Children, I want you people to follow this and start. Okay? ரொம்ப simple, Raja. Vermicomposting is very simple. நல்லா கொஞ்சம் மக்க வச்சு, that is, you compose the material so that the heat goes away. Introduce earthworms and keep a cow dung cake on the top. மேல ஒரு வரட்டி வைங்க. எப்படி? இப்போ பாருங்க. Just have a look. See that? Simple. Sir, where can I buy this cow dung cake, sir? I live in a city. I can't get cow dung cake. Cow dung cake is available in Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket. Why I'm trying to show you this slide is, children, நிறைய பேர் நீங்க வந்து கிராமத்துல இருந்து வந்திருப்பீங்க குழந்தைங்க. Look at them. கிராமத்துல ஒரு வரட்டி என்ன விலை சொல்லு ராஜா? எவ்வளவு இருக்கும் ஒரு வரட்டி? சிட்டிலேயே ஒரு வரட்டி 5 rupees தான். In Chennai, if you want to go and buy in this on the ECR in some of this cow sheds, one variety costs 5 rupees. Look at the cost they are selling. 139 rupees one variety. So understand what is happening to our local resource. How our people are not getting the money for it. Okay. This is what is vermicompost. நீங்கெல்லாம் நல்லா பண்ணணும் கண்ணா. நிறைய பேருக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும். இங்க வில்லேஜஸ்ல ஃபார்மர்ஸுக்கு எல்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும். ஓகேவா? Always understand, children, nature is so beautiful. God created the plants in such a beautiful way that when the plant has green leaves, the green leaves have more nitrogen in it. When the leaves dry, they have more carbon in it. Another killer, when you walk and look at the floor, you will find green leaves and brown leaves combined lying on the floor. Why? Because nature balances both and cooks the biryani for the soil organisms. Is that clear? Understand the concept. ரொம்ப simple, Raja, composting. Just use some sticks at the base and then we put all the biomass on it. Then you must add microbes. For microbe எங்க போவீங்க? Microorganisms add பண்ணும்ல? So where will you go? Best source is cow dung. Take little cow dung, dilute in water and just sprinkle it. That gives you all the microorganisms. And then we cover it up loosely with a plastic sheet. Samayal. Cooking is happening. Cooking. And the heat goes up. How much heat? Till 60-62 degrees Celsius. This is very important, Kana. This heat is very, very important. Why is this heat important? It destroys. Yes. It destroys unwanted pathogens. It destroys unwanted pests. It destroys unwanted seeds. Once it is gone, then we turn it over. Appo suna steam varum. Nalla heat agum. சமையல் முடிஞ்சுதா, turn over பண்ணிட்டு again leave it for another 15 days. Then push, volume reduction over. Cooking is over. Very cooked, ready biryani available for whom? For the earthworms. Either soften panni, cool panni, give it to the earthworms. The earthworms eat them and give us vermicompost. You can use it as such or use this Jalada machine, ordinary sieve, and that is vermicompost which is being used. You can also do composting at home. Very simple composting at home by using 2 units or the 7-pot composting. You can do it. The entire procedure is there in my website. You can have a look at it. I will give it to you at the end. But the simplest thing which I teach people, which you must teach a lot of people, especially children, they have a small hut, they are living in a hut, they have some soil space. Simple mechanism. Ask them to identify 3 feet. Don't take a scale. Roughly 3 feet. Munadi. Abde or circle mari varanjittu. Dig the soil out of it. Abde soil abde dig panni edukano. Eppadi like a pan. The kadai irukle and mari. Soil eduthu abde பக்கத்துல போடுங்க. இந்த மாதிரி போடுங்க. பாத்தீங்களா? Beautiful. போட்ட பிறகு put little bit of cow dung in the middle and keep watering. So when you put the cow dung in the middle and keep watering, soil organisms, microorganisms, earthworms, they multiply. Now, after composting is formed, what to do? On the inner side, where you find the yellow arrow, you can grow your kirai, kottamalli, pudina. And on the outer side, the green arrow, you can use for tomatoes, for bhendis, lady's finger, and all those vegetables. Then the mari grow. This is what we have been teaching a lot of people through the government, to the women folk. Another simple way of doing it is just putting sticks and putting the garbage inside. Once upon a time, we used to use sticks. Now you can do it even as green meshed wire. It's very simple, very simple. This is a design which I have designed now for the Chennai Zoo. The complete design was made by me. You can just have an idea that even big institutions can do it. Even small institutions can do it. So we do it, we set it up. Okay, the beautiful way the composting gets ready. Very simple mechanism. And that is what the compost is formed. Now they are going to turn it over. So while turning over, they will take it and then put it on the next pin. And that is turning over is over. After another 15 to 20 days, the compost is ready, which can be used for growing fodder for the animals in the zoo. It's a very simple mechanism which we do it. Okay. Now, children, you must learn now. This is a planarian worm. This may come and eat earthworms. So look at this planarian worm so that you identify what is a planarian worm. In the same way, this will go and eat away the earthworms. In the same way, this puchi may come in compost units. Any compost you do, this fellow will come. You can take it and give it to the chicken. Chicken love to eat this. Or you can give it to the crows. Because if you allow them to grow, they will become like this. Rhinoceros beetle. And this will harm the coconut trees. So you have to be very careful. Okay? Very good, children. But I am worried about one thing. The worry, what I worry is, many people now are making machines and saying that they can compost in 24 hours. You cannot do composting in 24 hours. If you want to do something in 24 hours, then the best thing is feed organic matter to the cow. It will give you dung in 24 hours. This can be used for any purpose. Very simple mechanisms, Raja. Why, sir, are you telling us all this? What is the use? You see, if I go and catch fish, the fish will die. I want to keep the fish for 3-4 days, but I don't have ice, I don't have fridge. I don't have ice, I don't have fridge. So what do? I add salt. If I add salt, microorganisms will not grow. If microorganisms do not grow, it will not decompose, but the fish will become karwadu, dry fish. In the same way, soil, I told you, has life. If I keep on adding salt into it, nitrate is the salt of nitrogen. Phosphate is the salt of phosphorus. Potash is the salt of potassium. If I keep on adding salts, my soil also becomes like a dry fish. Another reason, if I take salt too much while in my food, if I'm eating food and I take too much of salt, that means I need water. Tamil அழகா சொல்லுவாங்க, உப்பு தின்னவன் தண்ணி குடிக்கணும், right? So though take too much of salt, you must take water. The same way, soil, if you keep adding salts, it demands more water. Whereas organic soil does not demand more water. These are all very important. Please understand. Certain concepts you must understand, children. We teach you wrong science sometimes inside the classroom. As a senior teacher, I'm telling you. So teachers, if there are there, please don't mistake me. When I'm walking in the rain, I hold the umbrella, water falls around my umbrella. If I don't have an umbrella, I stand under the shade of the tree, water falls around the tree. Why should water fall around the tree? Water falls around the tree because the roots which drink are there. So what should I do? I must water the plants near the canopy. Enga pannu thanni? We have to put it near the canopy, 2-3 feet away from the tree. But what we do, we put near the trunk and then say nothing grows. Clear, Raja? Start doing a lot of work. And I want you students to start terrace gardening. The moment you go and say home, some people may say, Pazhaya veedu, old house, please don't. But you can always grow 3 feet from the last wall. That is the load-bearing wall. And 3 feet across the beams. Anga kuda, if you want to reduce the weight, you can have such casuarina poles, bamboo, and grow them in bags. No problem at all. Then you may ask, no, sir, I live in the city. I live in an apartment. I live in the flats. How can I grow, sir? I have no soil. To grow pudina, you require only 4 inches of soil. Simple. Why don't you start growing pudina? And you know this fenugreek, methi, or Tamil வந்து வெந்தயக்கீரை அப்படின்னுவாங்க, வெந்தயம். Fenugreek in English, methi is a common language. Methi paratha, methi puri. So if you want to grow வெந்தயக்கீரை or fenugreek, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சின்ன ஸ்வீட் பாக்ஸே போறோம். That is enough for us. You can easily grow வெந்தயக்கீரை in just 2 weeks' time. Why? You can even grow them in coconut shells. Now we have completely standardized. See here, it's a holiday time. There, I have these coconut shells. I keep teaching people how to grow them in coconut shells. Right? So simple, very simple. This I do it in my own house. Why do you do it? This is my own house. It is not the space that is important. It is how you use your space. 15 feet by 5 feet veranda. I mix animal models, toys along with plants to make them look attractive. So you find a lot of toys here. See here, toys everywhere, toys along with the plants. This is my front veranda, in front of the veranda, in the compound wall. This is the side of the compound wall. The entire thing is rainwater harvesting. See here, my entire house is rainwater harvesting. This is the back portion of my house. And this is my terrace garden. What do I get from my terrace garden? I get my vegetables and fruits, not regularly, but occasionally. And I get beautiful flowers in my garden. Can we start doing, Raja? Because holiday time start. Many people will be worried, sir, I get a thanni illa, sir. How much water should I add? No, sometimes out of anxiety, we add too much of water and kill the plant. So water should be less. Just like if I want to drink water, I require a glass of water. But only if I have to bath, I require a bucket of water. And if I have to swim, I require more water, right? So just little water. Simple technologies, Kanna. If your friends have farms, illa appavukko, uncleukko, yarukadu anga farms irudana, very simple. What I do is, I connect the cow shed to it. Then cow shed. Cow shed wash water, collect panikiren. Right? And then I switch on the motor. See here, this is borewell water. The big pump is borewell water. This small pipes which are bringing is cowshed water. Appo cowshed water la enna irukke? Kunja cow dung irukke, cow's urine irukke. And when they come out, 90% borewell water, 10% cow's urine and other water, beautiful soil fertilizer is ready. You can go and make whatever you want, Raja. Teach your people. Please teach. நிறைய குழந்தைங்க கிராமத்துல வந்திருக்கிறீங்க, நிறைய டயோசஸ், பிகாஸ் ஐ நோ a lot of Christian institutions. டயோசஸ்ல இருந்து நீங்க போய் சொல்லும் பொழுது நல்லா சொல்லி கொடுங்க. Teach them like who is the greatest scientist on the farm. Good. Because you see, goat, when you see the goat, it will eat all plants. The plants which a goat does not eat, identify them. Take the plants which a goat does not eat. For example, this plant is Ada Toda. Adu Toda. Goat doesn't touch. Take such plants, crush them, put them in a pot, add water, decompose for 15 days. Your pest repellent is ready. Pandalama, try panni paakringalada. This is what we teach farmers, Kanna. Very simple mechanisms. Very simple mechanisms. You can prepare foliar sprays at home. For example, using earthworm culture, I can produce vermi wash. These are vermi wash units. Very simple one. All the procedures there in my website. I'll give it to you finally. Don't worry. You can prepare Panchagavya. You can prepare FEM solutions. Very simple. Very, very simple. You can prepare fish amino with fish waste and jaggery. You can prepare beautiful dishes. Yeah. Idella vanda sir. Rumba simple. Time illa. We eat banana. Put banana peels in a bottle. Add water and leave it for 4 days. Nal poro. Remove the water, dilute in water and spray it on your plants. Beautiful flowers because lots of potassium is there. Pannalamilla idella. And the vaadappa tol allan, the peels will become very soft. You can dig the soil, put them, bury it. Extra fertilizer. You eat omelette, eat it. The shells, eggshell, break the eggshells, slightly roast them in a pot, in a pan, roast them. Put them in a bottle, add vinegar. Eggshell has calcium carbonate. Vinegar is acetic acid. The moment you add, bubbling starts. Within 1 day, 1.5 days, all the nutrients in the eggshell comes in the vinegar. Take it in a bucket, add water 10 times, dilute, put it on your soil and your plants. Beautiful nutrients. So start, Raja. Seeds, you see, have you ever thought about seeds? Your kitchen has 14 varieties of seeds. Kitchen, start with the kitchen. But for you children, I must tell you something. In the நம்ம நாட்டு விதை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, that is our own traditional seeds. They are called as heirloom seeds. Please use proper names. It is called as heirloom seeds. The problem is, if you go and buy from the market, be careful. The seeds will be of this color. If you are buying these seeds, handle them with care. Wash your hands properly. Because this is added with a chemical called as neonicotinoid. Nasty chemical. It is a neurotoxic substance. So be careful when you handle them. Okay. We have brought alternative also. We are trying with farmers. We are doing a lot of work with farmers. Once upon a time, farmer seeds were there, Raja. Now company fellows have come in. The difference between hybrid and GMO, you must understand, Raja. Hybrid is same Ottu Manga, Ottu Elivicham, that is hybrid. GMO is total genetically modified organism. Science reading. For us in India, food is medicine. Only for the foreigners, they require medicine and food. We don't want. Clear? Raja, especially NEET question get 2 years back. Golden rice, which can give you vitamin A. This genetically modified rice. We don't need it. Then they brought BT cotton. They said it is not edible. Is it edible? Do we eat cotton? No, right? That is where we make mistakes. In Madurai, they make paruthi pal. That is, they make cotton seed milk. And in Nagur, Nagapatnam, they make cotton seed halwa. Is that clear? Then they wanted to bring in BT brinjal. One type of brinjal for the whole country. You know how many varieties are there in India? More than 60 varieties. More than 60 varieties of brinjal in India. And Tamil Nadu, my state, we have more than 22 varieties of brinjal. And government wants to bring one variety. Government of India's own institute has 4,460 accessions. Please, children, understand the concepts properly. Then they want to bring mustard, kadugu, mustard. This mustard, they called it as DMH11, Dhara mustard hybrid. They wanted to mislead us. They wanted to call it as hybrid. Yes, it is hybrid. Hybrid of genetically modified parents. Please wake up, children. Please wake up. I work against all this because I work for the organic farming lobby. So what will happen? Biodiversity will create all the judo, karate, hoo-ha, biotechnology at Tisham. You may ask me, sir, are you against biotechnology? No, I am not against biotechnology. I teach biotechnology, I help biotechnology. But where it should be applied is very important. It's not necessary for our crops and food. Water is very important for us. Water has gone deeper and deeper into the soil. Can we save some water? Very simple, Kanna. Every household, we produce laundry water, washing machine, 24%. And the bathroom, where we have a wash, kulikiradu, 38%. Most of this water can be recycled. Just put a totti with baffle tanks, stones, so that the water goes like this in cycle. Grow these plants in the pot. Very simple, Raja, very simple. And then when water comes here, soap water from the washing machine, go straight. And this water comes out as clean water. And that water can be used for recharging the groundwater, for your own plants, why even for flushing the toilets. And children, before I wind up, some very important points to you. Eat properly. Eat properly, right? Breakfast, no, all those shop lapai, not those big boxes. Best food is idli dosa, right? So please remember, children, very simple mechanism. Very simple mechanism. Remember our national flag. The first color is orange. Take some food of that color every day. It can be papaya, it can be orange, it can be mango, it can be carrot, it can be anything of that color, pumpkin. Second color, white. Take some amount of milk because that gives you calcium. Third color is green. Take green colored vegetables, kaikari. It's very important for health. Yes. And then the chakra is blue in color. Water is blue. Take water regularly. How many lines in the chakra? 24 lines. 24 hours, take these 4 colors. We get excellent food, right? This is what is the school where I studied in Pondicherry, St. Joseph. This is what they give me whenever I go to that school. Namakidamma unavu. You think that these two will solve your problem? Pannuma. No. Keep on eating. See, even the bird becomes like this, Kanna. You keep eating, you will also become like that. Sweets, Paraja. When I was young, when Professor Koshi was young, when your parents were young, when we used to buy sweets in the market and keep it on the table, in about 2 hours, ants vandarum. Ants will come and eat them. Today, you people, children, you bring the sweet and keep it on the table. Even ants are not eating that. Even ants are not eating that sweet we are giving it to our children. Please understand what is happening. Please understand. And you go to a hotel, but the moment they keep this, you will eat it. And then without anybody's knowledge, you will take a tissue paper, add some, then keep on eating. This soap, they have removed the extract and is coated with aspartame. Aspartame is a chemical, sweetening chemical. So please understand these things. And color, please, children, you listen carefully. Color is very nasty nowadays. Different types of color has come in the market. Different colors are being used. Be careful, Kanna. Yeah, upma velliya irundha kesari velliya irukka koodatha. Because the color which is sold is not kesar. It is a poisonous chemical. So what you are cooking is not kesari, it is canceri. Ask your amma to cook kesari here afterwards without color, or add some carrot juice or beetroot juice, but not that color from the shop. Please be very careful. All these dark colored chicken pakodas, gobi pakodas, be careful, Kanna. Orange in the color, then. And the drink matter red dark. It is color. It's only color. Why even batani, which is sold in the market, most of the places today, if you are buying peeled batani, it is colored with green color. Please understand, this is ecology. This is what we have to teach. Children from Gramangal, please be careful. A new injection is coming for cattle to take the milk. In the Mari press, the complete milk will be drawn. But in about 3 years' time, the cattle will get the disease. Girl children, especially drinking this milk, in rural areas will attain puberty. வயசுக்கு வந்துருவாங்க at the age of 8 or 9. Horrible things are happening. Please be very careful. Look here. What has happened? Just born calf. கண்ணுக்குட்டி போட்டிருக்கு. மாடு கண்ணுக்குட்டி போட்டிருக்கு. Just born female calf. Giving half a liter of milk.
அதில் பால் சுரப்பது தெரிய வந்தது. அதன் பின்னர் பால் மடியில் பால் கறந்து பார்த்தபோது 1/2 லிட்டர் வரை பால் கிடைத்தது. இது குறித்து கால்நடை மருத்துவர்களிடம் கேட்டபோது ஹார்மோன் பிரச்சனையால் மிக அரிதாக இது போன்று நிகழும்.
Be careful, children. Be careful. Be careful. Please understand. This is what is science. You must understand. You must teach others. Most of the shops are selling sweets today, which have the silver foil. This is not my slide. It's from the government of India. This sweet, this foil is not silver. It is a combination of 5 heavy metals: nickel, lead, copper, chromium, cadmium, kidney pochi. Unless you know the shop properly, don't buy such sweets. Be careful. Plastic, please understand, children. There are 7 varieties of plastic. How do I know, sir? Yenda plastic, எனக்கு எப்படி சார் தெரியும்? Every good company, the plastic bottle will have a triangle with a number inside. Nalla gavaninga. If you have a plastic bottle, after my lecture, go take up the plastic containers and look at it. There will be a triangle with a number inside. ரொம்ப முக்கியம் கண்ணா, நம்பர் இல்லாத பிளாஸ்டிக் வாங்கவே கூடாது, யூஸும் பண்ணக்கூடாது. புரியுதா? ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இதான் 7 நம்பர் பிளாஸ்டிக். 7 நம்பர். இதை பாருங்க, ஏமாத்திரம் பாருங்க. ஓகே, ட்ரையாங்கிள் இருக்கு, நம்பரை காணும். This is cheating. And குழந்தைங்களுக்கு முக்கியமா, குழந்தைங்களுக்கு, சின்ன குழந்தைங்க வீட்டில் இருந்தாங்கன்னா, even the feeding bottle comes in plastic number 7. They must declare it as BPA free. BPA free declaration இருக்கணும். Bisphenol A free. Otherwise, it can cause hormone problems. It can cause endocrine disruptions. It can cause cancer. Please understand. The thermocol tattu, you can keep ice cream and eat. You can keep biscuit and eat. But hot food will leave an impression. அப்பனா அதுல இருக்கிற ஸ்டீரின் எல்லாம் has come into the food. You are eating poison. Please understand. Microplastic. Children, TV advertisement பார்த்துட்டு don't ask your parents to buy for you microplastic toothpaste or microplastic shampoo. The microplastic has entered into water. Those children in Chennai Red Hills water has 6 microplastic pieces in every liter of water. புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. Salt has microplastic. Fish has microplastic. Very recently, 2020 June, vegetables and fruits are having microplastics. இதோட மோசமா தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறீங்களா? இத பாருங்க. Worst thing happened February 2, 2021. Placenta, அம்மாவுக்கும் குழந்தைக்கு இருக்கிற அந்த குடில், அதுல வந்து மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக்.
அண்மையில் நடந்த மருத்துவ ஆராய்ச்சியில் தாய் சேயை இணைக்கும் நஞ்சுக்கொடியில் நுண்ணெகிழி துகள்கள் கண்டுபிடிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது அதிர்ச்சியை ஏற்படுத்தியுள்ளது. உலகிலேயே பாதுகாப்பான இடம் என்று நினைக்கும் தாயின் கருவறையும் பிளாஸ்டிக் துகள் விட்டு வைக்கவில்லை. அண்மையில் ஐரோப்பிய நாடான இத்தாலியில் சில கர்ப்பிணிகளிடம் ஆராய்ச்சி.
This is the problem. And it has now come in the air. Be careful, children. I love this sentence by Kalyanji. அடிக்கடி பார்க்க முடிகிறது யானையை கூட மாதக்கணக்காயிற்று மண்புழை பார்த்து. You're not able to see earthworms, right? So shall we reworm the world? Children, will you help me reworm the world? Yes. And when it rains, water cannot go inside. When it rains, water cannot go inside. But when the earthworms come and make these holes, it will take the water and recharge the water. இதான் அதோடைய சர்க்குலேட்டரி சிஸ்டம். உங்களுக்கு எல்லா சப்ஜெக்டும் புரியணும்னு அவசியம் கிடையாது ராஜா. எனக்கும் மேத்ஸ் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி குட் நாட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். மேத்ஸும் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி இப்படிதான் இருந்தது, எனக்கு எட்டவே இல்லை. ஐ குட் நாட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். அண்ட் யுவர் பேரண்ட்ஸ் வில் சே யூ மஸ்ட் பிகம் எ டாக்டர், an engineer, a computer. Is it essential? Is it necessary? Not necessary, Kanna. And many people will tell, your relatives will tell, anything other than that is a disgrace to the family. If you believe in it, then you are listening to a disgrace. Because I studied zoology. I loved zoology, so I studied zoology. Tirida? If your parents are there and your teachers are there, your teachers and your parents read this book in class 10. கேளு உங்க அம்மாவா அப்பாவா, இந்த புக்கை படிச்சியா 10ஆம் கிளாஸ்ல? என்ன கேளு, 10ஆம் கிளாஸ்ல இந்த புக்கை படிச்சியான்னு கேளு. தமிழ்நாட்டில் படிச்சிருந்தாங்கன்னா வெர்மிடெக் என்னும் வார்த்தையை முனைவர் சுல்தான் இஸ்மாயிலால் உருவாக்கப்பட்டதுங்கிறது தான். நான் தான் அந்த சுல்தான் இஸ்மாயில். I was the one who coined the term vermitech for this world. Is it clear? So what you study is not important. How you study is very important. இந்த புக்கு நீங்க எல்லாம் படிப்பீங்களா இப்போ? 12th ஸ்டூடெண்ட், 12th ஜுவாலஜி, 12th பயோஜுவாலஜி. இந்த புக்ல அந்த போட்டோட போட்டிருக்கான் பாருங்க, அவன் தான் உங்களோட பேசுறான். புரியுதா? உங்களுடைய கரிக்குலம் கமிட்டி மெம்பர்மா, who designed the entire syllabus for you people for the Tamil Nadu textbooks. So please children, work hard. And experiments very simple design பண்ணிருக்கிறோம். Make use of this. It's all on the online. You can take 100 science experiments design பண்ணிருக்கிறோம் உங்களுக்காக. கலாம் சார் இருக்கும் போது அவரோட எல்லாம் பேசி இதெல்லாம் பண்ணது. Right? Please use it. And I always believe that God is still not disappointed by human beings. So let us leave behind a very healthy environment for the children who are yet to be born in this world. எல்லாமே பூமிக்காக தான். That's our eye view. But who cares? Right? இதுக்கெல்லாம் பயிற்சி தேவையில்ல ராஜா. இதுக்கெல்லாம் தேவை முயற்சி. நல்ல முயற்சி செய்யுங்க. கண்டிப்பா உங்களால் வாழ முடியும். இது என்னுடைய தமிழ் புத்தகம், மண்மக்கள் மகசூல் by Vigadan Publishers. You can go through it and you must improve. And improvement starts with the alphabet I. So start improving. இது ஏன் வேலை இல்லை உன் வேலைன்னு சொல்லாதரா. இதை பாரு, போற கரடி கம்முன்னு போக வேண்டியதானே. It is finding that it is responsible. It finds that it has fallen down, somebody will meet with an accident. So it is keeping and going. Let us also do what best we can for our environment. Okay? All the best. Good luck to you children. My details are available here. Good luck to you all. All the best. I'll come out of it so that we can discuss for some time. Okay? So I'll stop share.
So if you have any doubts, questions, you can ask now. Thank you, sir, for a very informative and interesting class. I think the students have enjoyed.
My pleasure to talk to the children. I wish it was a physical contact class, like where we could have interacted much better.
So if you want to ask some questions, you are in front of a big teacher, you can ask questions. Or you can ask, you can clarify your doubts.
Sir, actually, when we make the seed balls, should we add manure in it or simply we can just cover the seed with a soil?
First thing is you don't need to make seed balls at all. It has become a culture nowadays. Like if you are doing it for a purpose, you do it. But people nowadays, like they make 1,000 seed balls, just throw 1,000 seed balls and claim that they have planted 1,000 trees. You cannot claim that, right? But if you want to prepare a seed ball, it is always better to have soil with some manure or dung, something like that, which will be a nutrient for the seed to germinate once the moisture condition comes through. It is always better because we do not know the quality of the soil you are using. And especially if you have cow dung, it will also help you in binding the seed and making it into a ball. That's the only purpose we use.
Sir, there is a question in the chat box, sir. Why our government cannot ban harmful food products completely?
As long as people are ready to buy, government will not ban because they get a revenue from it. We always talk, like every cigarette packet has a warning that it causes cancer, but the government will not ban it. So revenue generation happens through these products like liquor, like all these habits which they generate. So in fact, it becomes very difficult. I rightly said, and whoever asked that question, I wish that you become a minister or a chief minister, and then you ban the thing suddenly. Like it's very difficult. It's very difficult. When I was, as far as I was a teacher, then it was easy for me. Now occupying a different position altogether, looking from the top, there are so many confusions which exist. It's something very different from what we look from the side.
Sir, sir, good evening, sir. I am Karen from
Karen.
Madurai Ramnath Diocese, sir. Sir, actually, நான் நிறைய பிளான்ஸ் நான் வச்சிருக்கேன் வீட்டுல, பட் ரோஸ் வரவே மாட்டேங்குது, வளர்க்க முடியல. அண்ட் ஐ எம் ஹேவிங் ஹைபிஸ்கஸ் சார். நாட்டு செம்பருத்தி தான் ஆல்வேஸ் அந்த ஒயிட் கலர் பூச்சி அதுல வந்துட்டே இருக்கு சார். அது ஒண்ணுமே செய்ய முடியல எங்களால.
ஒண்ணுமே செய்ய முடியலன்னா பொறுத்து வச்சுக்கீங்க அவங்கள.
நான் அந்த இது பண்ணேன் சார், ஆர்கானிக்.
இல்ல எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு வாட் ஐ டூ ஃபார் இட், நான் என்னுடைய ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் சொல்லிடுறேன் உங்களுக்கு. ரொம்ப வரல, இப்பதான் வர ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கு. It has just started growing, means this white mealybugs, if they start coming, The best thing I do is I use a toothbrush, clean it up, use soap water. Soap water gives me excellent results. Plain soap water gives me excellent results. You please try it once. And use a lot of this, and the banana peel soak pani water la, give it to your plant. They develop immune reactions. So that becomes very good and effective. Because I have a lot of varieties of hibiscus with me. So that's what is helping me. You can try that, Karen. For some time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely I'll try this, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I'm from Madhya Kerala Diocese. My name is Aris. Sir, do the soap water kill the snails that is found on the plants?
Soap water directly may not kill unless the snail comes out of the shell. Soap water can always control the slugs, but snails will always withdraw into the shell and you won't be able to do it. So the best thing is you keep newspaper in a moist soil. They try to accumulate within that beneath the newspaper. That you take it as such and then destroy.
Okay. Some people say that if you add salt to it, the snail disappears. And
you have to put salt on its path. If you put a salt on its path, it doesn't like salt. All these organisms, the snails, the earthworms, all these fellows, they don't like salt. They move away from salt.
Okay, sir.
So you can use salt powder. Or you can use a combination of salt, chili powder, and turmeric.
Oh, thank you, sir.
1:1:1. Aman.
1:1:1. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in Madurai, we belongs to Madurai, sir. Romba hottest city nala oru sila plants alla inge varadunu solranga, sir. And the climate ku dhaan varum inge varadunu solranga. Is that true, sir?
Why do you believe them and do it? You trust in God and start planting.
Sir, I have tried many times.
For me, people said that fern doesn't grow in my soil, but I have wonderful ferns growing with me. It all depends. Vanilla is growing in my house now suddenly. One person came from Ooty, Nilgiris. So he came for a discussion. While going, he said, "Sir, I brought one vanilla. If you want, you try it. It's growing for me." So, which is not supposed to grow. So, like sometimes certain things can happen based on the microclimate which you will create. Don't see to it that in case you are using a plant which is of a temperate or semi-shading condition, keep that pot till it establishes in such a condition. Don't expose it to full sunlight for that they will not be able to tolerate. But you can try it, Karen. It's absolutely
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll try, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, can we use salt to prevent snakes entering into the houses, sir?
Salt doesn't help at all. I had a visitor coming into my house through the air-conditioned pool and was sitting on the photograph of my house. And we had to chase him away. They don't listen to any of those things. And don't play any music to them because they don't hear anything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Most of the plants don't grow at home is because we bring the soil and then we create the soil. And most of the plants don't grow properly because some micronutrient will be lacking in it. So normally what we advise is if you can add a little bit of manure along with a little bit of ash and stir it with the soil, you may have a condition where they can grow again. I hope I have been able to answer Jerlyn Renisa.
Sir, I'm Giflin Golda from Tirunelveli Diocese. How much money is spent when I have a terrace garden in my house?
Money? Yeah,
Sir, I have. That's also I have.
Yes, you have some broken bucket, broken containers, right? It is not necessary. It's not money which is important. You see, I keep getting seeds once in a way in the organic shops. I have brought seeds there. I have to plant now. In the business, in the Pudu activity, my time goes away. But otherwise, it should have been planted by now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma. Don't go for a formal setup. Giftlin. Always start with whatever you have. Any small bucket. Only see to it that there is holes at the base. Water should not stagnate inside the pot. If water stagnates, your plant will die. Is that clear? Roots degenerate. So take a container. old bucket இருக்குன்னு வைங்க, crack on the bucket இருக்குன்னா, take the bucket, make some holes at the base, put little bit of stones at the base to filter the water. கருங்கல் இருக்கு இல்லையா, ரோடு போடுறேன்னு போடுவாங்க, ரோடே போட மாட்டாங்க, அந்த கல்லு கொண்டு வந்துட்டு போயிட்டு, right? Put those stones and then put little bit of soil on it loosely and start planting. They will start growing, Raja. You start growing with whatever simple things are there, and then you go for complicated plants.
Nowadays there's a concept that is grow bag. Adha kandipa apdi vekkadna nalla varuma illa normally we use the yes
illa grow bag liyum varudhu, dabba liyum varudhu. It's only a container to hold the soil. Don't be very formal, make it very informal kanna. Vera onnu
okay sir.
So, good evening sir, this is Dr. Padmini sir.
Yes doctor, solunga.
Yes sir, Padmini sir.
Okay,
yeah,
Padmini.
I'm from yes sir, I'm from Ranchima Diocese sir. If you give some projects for all, because so many students are joining in this seminar no sir, so if you suggest some projects which is the level of, according to the level of the children, definitely we will implement that projects in our different schools sir, because I'm working as a volunteer for one school and also one college, so that we can apply, we can implement that kind of things in that particular places sir. Anyhow sir, thank you so much
children,
for yes sir.
Thank you doctor, thank you.
Please sir.
No, my only acquaintance with children today children
Yes,
are exposed to lots of knowledge, unlike
Yes.
what we were exposed to.
Yes.
Children have a wide exposure of knowledge.
Yes,
And one thing which I have seen with children is whatever may be their duty of handling phones and doing anything on it.
Yes.
But when they put a seed and they see a plant grow,
Yes.
they love it. They like it.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, that's true, sir.
அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு சின்ன வேலை நான் கொடுத்தது என்னன்னா, எல்லா பள்ளிக்கூடங்கள்லயும் சாதாரண இந்த கொட்டாங்குச்சியில ஒரு தொலை போட்டு சொல்லுவேன். இந்த ஒரு தொலை கொட்டாங்குச்சியில ஒரு தொலை போட்டுட்டு
Yes, sir.
கொஞ்சோண்டு ஒரே ஒரு கல்லு மட்டும் அது மேல வச்சுட்டு
Yes, sir.
மண்ணு வச்சு
Yes, sir.
மண்ணு லூஸா, நாட் வெரி
Yes.
கொஞ்சம் சாண்டி சாயில் போட்டுட்டு வீட்டுல இருக்கிற வெந்தயம் எடுத்து அப்படி போட்டு விட்டுட்டு ஒரு 15 நாள் அருமையான வெந்தயக்கீரை அம்மாவுக்கு கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா சமைச்சு கொடுப்பாங்க, சாப்பிடுங்க. அதுல இருந்து ஆரம்பிங்க.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
அதுல இருந்து
sir.
ஆரம்பிங்க, அவ்வளவுதான்.
Yeah.
சில பேர் கேள்வி கேட்டிருக்காங்க, சார் we use acids to clean up our bathrooms, that water will be harmful for the plants. Definitely it will be harmful, Raja. Instead of using strong acid, use vinegar. Vinegar is dilute acetic acid. Vinegar இருக்கு இல்லையா, அது யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. அது வந்து better than the strong acid. அதுவும் அதே வேலை தான் பண்ணும். இல்லைன்னா சோடா மாவும் வினேகரும் கலந்து போடுங்க, நல்ல ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் வரும். ஒண்ணு. இன்னொரு கேட்டிருக்காங்க, கேன் வி மிக்ஸ் கோகோபீட் வித் சாயில்? எஸ், யூ கேன் மிக்ஸ். அதாவது நம்ம ஊர்ல வந்து வாட்டர் ரிட்டென்ஷன், இஃப் யூ வாண்ட் யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் மிக்ஸ் கோகோபீட். Only coco-pit is not very advisable to the plants because it is full of carbon, lignin. There is no nitrogen in it. So நீங்க ரெண்டே கலந்து பண்ணீங்கன்னா it can hold moisture. You can water the plants once in 2 days, 3 days also. You can use it, you can mix it, no problem. Agricultural microbiology is a very good subject, Raja. On Jelina, agricultural microbiology is a very good subject. If you have interest in microbiology, you can definitely do it. Not a problem. Yes, Karen?
Sir, can you please post your number or mail ID?
That means you are not done homework. You just put Sultan Ismail in Google, you will get all the information.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, my email ID is sultanismail@gmail.com. I'm writing it in the box.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
I call upon Chelsea Rachel from Madras Diocese to propose out of thanks from the student side. Already Padmini made a good gratitude to the Sultan Ismail. Now I request the student to do it.
A graceful and warm evening to most respected Sir Professor Dr. Matthew Koshi, Eco-Director SYNOD, our most valued guest, Honorable Dr. Sultan Ismail Sir, management team, teacher coordinators, all students and friends. Last but not least, all joined in this online meeting. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a note of thanks on this occasion. Firstly, I would like to thank our Lord Jesus Christ for countless blessings and making the day a magnificent one. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sultan Ahmed Ismail Sir, Head of Department Zoology and Biotechnology, the New College, Chennai. Sir made it clear that nature cannot be restored by humans, but only by nature itself. and it is our duty to protect and save nature. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting nature-oriented message with pictures. I would especially thank Dr. Matthew Koshi, sir, for his thought-provoking insight on this leadership program and confidence in us. He is the backbone for this program and guiding force for every new step forward. I would take this opportunity to express my deep regards to all teacher coordinators, commenters for being a constant motivator and guiding force in our endeavors during this program. My deep sense of thanks and appreciation goes to all participants who attended this online webinar from various dioceses with great enthusiasm and made today's event a great success. In the end, thank you all for joining with us today and have a wonderful night ahead. Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful time and good luck to you all.
For a concluding prayer, student from Medak Diocese, Hyderabad.
Our gracious and loving Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us another opportunity to acknowledge you, Lord. Lord, thank you for joining us all together in this webinar. Help us to realize the importance of this and be the good citizens of our country, Lord. Lord, bless each one of us, Lord. Lord, bless our director, Dr. Matthew Koshi, sir. Guide him in your ways, Father. And I also pray for our speaker, Ahmed Ismail, sir. Lord, help us to work for the ecology rather than the economy, sir. Economy, Father. I also pray for all the technicians who are handling Zoom meetings, Father. And I also pray for all the teacher coordinators and all the students, Father. Once again, I thank you, Lord, for being with us all through this webinar and making it a success. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir,
you.
for your wonderful speech.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye, children. All the best. Good luck to you all. Take care.
We are closing the session.